So the first time I saw a classical composer responds to, I don't know if it was Yngwie Malmsteen's Symphony X or maybe it was a
Yeah.
Dream Theater, but I mean, those are my some of my big influences on guitar. I
Yeah.
thought this should be interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
once I clicked on it and you start talking, it's true. You treat them all with respect. You're not, you know, you know. I studied jazz a little bit, and I'd never say I'm a jazz musician or guitar player. I've studied it,
Mm.
but like in some genres, classical and jazz, maybe they tend to look down on metal, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not shy about giving you their opinion. Not hey, not everybody, but you treat
There's
it
an
very much with
element of
respect.
there is an element of snobbishness. I know more about music than you do.
Just remember,
I'm
friends,
better.
Doug said it, not me. Okay,
You know,
but
it's I hang out with these people. You
but
know, yeah,
the thing that caught me the most was I was like, holy shite, this guy's ear is amazing. Like I've got a pretty good ear, but it's
mm,
just amazing watching you go into the theoretical and musical dissection. Were you born with perfect pitch, or
no.
what? How did that happen?
And I do not currently have perfect pitch. Actually, my story in terms of my ear is a relative success story. I had a whole lot of ear infections as a kid. I had several, uh, hospital stays as a kid to try to, I had all this like ear infections and shit, and I did not have a good musical ear. It wasn't really well trained until I got to started getting into music in high school and then into college. My family is not a musical family. We don't listen to a whole lot of. We never did listen to a whole lot of music. If we were watching something on television or listening to something on the radio, it was a ball game. We were a sports family,
Yeah,
so in the evenings, instead of putting on an LP and just sitting down and listening with your friends, I was watching the game with my grandma or
yeah,
listening to the Cardinals on the radio, and so I never really got into it. But the more you do it, like I started to get into writing music, I became interested in how it works, and I would be entirely frustrated because I would think of these sounds in my head. And I'm like, that would be a great song. How the hell do I get it from here to on paper or to other musicians? And I
yeah,
couldn't do it. And it pissed me the hell off. So I thought, okay, I need to figure out how to what is my head telling me that my hand needs to know.
yeah,
And you start,
yeah,
and do re mi fa sol fa mi re do. Yeah,
yeah,
and it's just day after day after day,
yeah,
and it really started to come for me when I started teaching it
yeah,
at the college level. Because if you're going to teach ear training to freshmen at a conservatory who have been doing music their entire lives, you better be as good as they are at it coming in or better so that you have credibility as a teacher. And
yeah,
so you fake it until you make it. And
yeah,
after 20 something years, I'm like, I start to trust that, yeah, I remember what Joy to the World sounds like. That's in D. I remember what, other songs sound like. That's in that mirror, or that's in that key. And I can remember, oh, if that sounds like that, that's what key they're in.
yeah.
And I can have those little clicks for me. I also tune up before I do every single episode. And if I'm doing Iron Maiden, I'm going to tune to an E because I'm pretty sure they're going to be close to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the way that's come for me. Yeah.
So for the people watching who don't know what perfect pitch is when you hear a note and you can identify what it is right away.
Hmm.
Now there's some people are born with it. I remember coming up on guitar in the late 80s and the early 90s. There's always this guy in the classifieds. He always had this. Each pitch has different colors. I forget his name, but he had this course you could buy. I never
Yeah.
did specific training for it, but I have a relative idea when I hear a pitch, but watching you is very amazing. It's like, wow,
Thank
like you
you.
already knew that. And of course, one of the things I teach some of my students that have been playing for a while, we learn about the harmonized major scale.
Hmm.
Sometimes when you're trying to figure out, like a commercial song, once you figure out what key it is, then you have an idea of what chords go along with that key. So then it's easier to narrow it down and guess. But some
Sure.
of the songs you're doing are like, especially some of the progressive stuff, it's very complex. So
It's not easy.
yeah.
It's and the fast, so like the easier stuff actually has been like Pink Floyd. Their stuff
Hmm.
is really atmospheric. The chords don't change very often. They give you very clear motives. It's a different type of music
Yeah.
than something like Yes, or even Fast Forward, Dream Theater. The notes are going so fast
Yeah.
that it's difficult sometimes to pick up. But um, I'm mainly listening for the bass, and I'm listening for when just I've sensed that the harmony is changing, and that's always the way that I've approached my own music making, is from a harmonic progression sort of standpoint.
Yeah.
This harmony supports this harmony, and this goes to here, and it becomes kind of a train